Talking about will writing now on Future Radio. I'm happy to have Stuart Bowl from Heritage Will Writers. Stuart, thank you for coming in.
No worries, thank you for having me.
Not at all. First of all, so you're from Heritage Will Writers. So
Yes.
talk to us briefly a bit more about what you guys do.
At Heritage Will Writers, we aim to provide everybody with the peace of mind that comes with having all your estate planning affairs in order in a timely fashion.
So it must be quite the thing to think about, isn't it? Really, for a lot of people, they don't necessarily want to think about it in a way.
You're absolutely right. It's the sort of thing that everybody should have, but we're conscious that it's very easy to put off.
But do you feel, obviously we're going to do a bit of a Q&A here, and people, if you're listening in right now and you're stuck and wondering stuff about a will, then keep it here on Future Radio, so we're going to give you some help and advice. But do you think there's, like, for a lot of people don't necessarily know about the process of will writing and that sort of thing, do you find?
Quite possibly. We do often find that it's far more emotive than people initially think it could be. Even people that think I've got a very, very easy estate. I'd just like to leave everything to my partner. Actually, when you get into it, it's far more involved.
A lot more involved, indeed. So for the first question, really, I suppose, is what happens if you don't have a will and something horrible happens?
Potentially, I suppose it could. Yeah, if you don't have a will, your estate is administered under the laws of intestacy. So it will your estate will follow a set path, and in many cases, even if not most cases, that may not be the way you wished your estate to go.
Interesting. So when should one start sorting out a will?
Well, I mean, the easiest answer to this is as soon as possible.
Right.
However, if you're over 18 years old and have any savings or assets or dependent children, then it's quite essential that you do sort that out.
What's the average age of people who do start sorting out a will? Then is it considerably older than 18?
Yes, it is. Yeah. Actually, some recent statistics came out that the average age for someone sorting a will out is 59. And
really?
Yeah, the government are now trying to push more and more people to have that done much younger.
Why do you think that is?
I think, as we alluded to earlier, it's just very easy to put off, and like you raised earlier. It's something people don't necessarily wish to think about.
Do you think it's an age thing as well? Like younger people might generally associate it with older people, sorting out wills.
Quite possibly. I mean, the key takeaway for us is that you could never do it too early, but you can definitely do it too late. So, do
you think there should be more? The government should take more steps in actually pushing younger people, maybe making it. The word that springs to mind is more accessible, but more like trying to push people to try and
I think
create
definitely
at a younger age.
Yeah, I think definitely people should be encouraged to get their affairs in order. Yeah.
So how much does this cost?
A simple single will for one person is £165, and there's £244 for a mirror will, which would be a couple. So that, husband, wife, or boyfriend, girlfriend, or.
So, I mean, I was going to ask about costs, maybe put younger people off. That's not an awful lot, really.
No, it's actually a lot cheaper than most people think it's going to be.
That is interesting. The cost, I was expecting it to be like a four-figure sum or something.
Oh,
like
really?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. It shows how knowledgeable I am about this sort of thing. And I'm 27. I don't have a will. Should we think about it? So I've got this right. What is a lasting power of attorney, and why might I need one?
Okay. Well, a lasting power of attorney is a legal document which allows you to specify who you would like to make decisions on your behalf should you unfortunately become unable to, through either an illness or an accident or anything along those lines. So it's equally as important as having a will, actually, because this could affect you during your lifetime as well. And this is another thing that's the key point on this is to do it as early as possible, because as soon as you unfortunately lose the capacity to make one, you can't legally register one with the Office of the Public Guardian, which is the step that you have to take.
I can imagine there's quite a few cases where people suddenly found themselves unable to sort out their will when they haven't got a lasting power of attorney.
Yeah, unfortunately, we do come across cases where people.
So what happens in those situations then?
In that situation, it can become quite complicated. You would have to go to. You potentially have to go to court to make those decisions and things like that, which obviously is time consuming, is cost prohibitive, or the state will make them for you.
Just a slight off tangent on the earlier question of what if you don't have a will. So in this situation, if you don't have a will and you do pass away and you haven't left and you haven't got a will sorted for your family or anything like that, how is that dealt with?
So your estate would literally be left according to the laws of intestacy. So it would go down a set route of beneficiaries, depending on what beneficiaries you could potentially have, whether it's children, parents, siblings, and at the end of that list, if you don't have any of those dependents, goes to the government.
There we are.
Yeah.
So here's me. I'm not done. I haven't created myself a will yet. What are my first steps? What do I do?
Well, I would say contact Heritage Will Writers on 01603 894 500. We try to make the process as straightforward and as simple as possible for people. So we will offer a free consultation with one of our qualified members of staff, where they will either offer an office appointment, or they will come and visit people in people's homes during the daytime or during the evening.
So why come to particularly companies like you? I mean, you can buy like wills like in other
Sure.
places. So why come to the Heritage Will Writers or companies similar?
Okay. Well, the simple answer to that for me would be that because we will ensure that it is done correctly. We can't obviously. There's no guarantees if you've done them yourself and things like that. That is the case. At Heritage Will Writers, we're actually an award-winning team. We've won both a regional and a national award within the last 6 months. So.
It's that trust. That's that trust thing, isn't
Absolutely.
it? Actually, and someone like me, you might not. I'd much prefer to have like someone sort of over my shoulder helping me out with that sort of thing, as opposed to trying to handle the whole thing myself.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So what if circumstances change? If any, you write a will and I don't know something happens. You know, can you change a will? Would you need to change a will?
Yeah, absolutely. It's equally as important to have an up to date will as it is to have a will. There are circumstances which, for example, marriage. As soon as you get married, if you've got a will before that, the marriage actually revokes the will. So it's as though you don't have one. So what we offer is we offer a client care package, which is it's £39 a year. It has many benefits, including an executor helpline, safe storage of your original documents, and also included in that is you can make amendments to your will at no charge. So it's to ensure it's always up to date.
I didn't know when you get married that your previous will was revoked.
Yeah, no, you're far from alone. Far from alone on that, actually.
Do you think more people need to be educated on these things?
Oh, 100%,
that sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Because unless you've looked into this, why would you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How simple? I mean, what's the timeline from actually coming to Heritage Will Writers or other companies coming to you and saying, okay, I want a will? How long's the process?
From the process of sitting with the consultant, if everything is, if all the information we require is there, ready, available, we try to turn it around in 21 to 28 days.
And where do we? And when someone passes away, where is the will kept? Where can families?
So we securely store them on site.
Okay.
With strong room on site where we securely store all the original wills.
Fascinating talking to you about this, and a lot of stuff which I didn't know. Actually, I'm sat here, you know, and hearing stuff from you, and hearing about the marriage thing, and actually starting to think about a will at such a young age as well. It's a bit of an eye opener, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. And as I said, you know, I'm sure it would be for many people.
So where can we find out more details about you and what you guys do, and if anyone's interested in getting in contact from helping support and creating a will, where can we find out more?
So we're based in Norwich, but we cover the whole of East Anglia. So we will come to your homes in that front. But as an initial instant, call us on 01603 894 500 or visit our website, which is www.heritagewills.co.uk.
And also, if anyone else has got any questions as well about
absolutely,
wills, do that. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah, we'd help as much as we can.
Help indeed. I think I'll certainly need it. Lots of very educational that was. Stuart Bowl from Heritage Will Writers. Thank you so much for coming in.
No problem.
Really appreciate that, and certainly taken a lot from that one. Paid partners here on Future Radio. Okie dokie. Let's have some music now from Django.